I've been talking in my blog about bottleneck business owners because I truly believe two things. Firstly, it's easy to become the bottleneck in your own business. And secondly, it's quite possible you won't even realise this has happened. So I'm calling you out, and I'm reminding myself of some of the symptoms. It's super easy to get into that place where it doesn't matter where you look, something needs doing. And it's also really easy to think that you're the only person that can do all this stuff. In reality, trying to do or control everything yourself just creates a bottleneck. I think there are slightly different solutions for people who work alone, people who already outsource, and those of us that have a regular team. Sometimes you get into this place because you are the only person in your business, so it's a fair assumption that you need to do everything. But if this is you, ask yourself the following questions. How much of your time is spent on client work? And by this I mean the things you actually get paid for. And how much of your time is spent on business admin and housekeeping? In here I put all the things that keep your business running. You don't get paid for them, stuff like accounts, marketing, emails, bills. You just have to get the balance between paid and unpaid activity. And when you start to really look at this, it can be very sobering. It's easy to become busy and poor at the same time, simply because you're focused on the wrong stuff. If you are the only person in your business, look at the demand for your paid time. If demand outstrips capacity, either because your clients are constantly waiting for things or because you're regularly working evenings or weekends or more hours than you actually want to, then it might be time to start thinking about outsourcing. Often, some admin assistance is your first support. A few hours of a VA can make a disproportionate difference to your business. They can probably do all the stuff in half the time it would take you because this is their craft, their area of excellence. Just like what you do for clients is yours. Of course, what you could earn by servicing more clients with the time you spend on admin is likely to more than cover the cost of your VA. If on the other hand you don't have enough client work to fill all your time, focus all your spare effort and energy on getting more clients. To do this, you need to be seen, you need to be trusted, and you need to be liked. You won't do this if you spend all your time hiding away, if you're reorganising your inbox, tinkering around with your product, or creating marketing content that you never quite get distributed. Focus your time on showing up and serving. If you are not the only person in your business and you're already outsourcing, and yet everywhere you look there's still stuff that needs doing, check up on a couple of things. Firstly, that you're giving people a clear enough brief to be able to do what you've asked them to do. And then check that you're not creating a bottleneck, either by being too controlling or by not reviewing stuff and approving it in a timely manner. Resist at all costs the temptation to intervene. If I had £1 for every client who said to me, it's quicker to do it myself, or I had to redo everything my way, of course no one will get your content, your vision, your mission in exactly the same way that you do. But a well-briefed, good copywriter, video producer, web designer can take your vision and create something that lands beautifully with the people that you want to influence, because that's their craft, that's their expertise. Yours is clarity in the first place. I'd also suggest you check what you're outsourcing, because I often see people outsourcing the client delivery stuff to associates as soon as they get busy. And that's great if it expands your turnover and profit. Not so much if it expands your turnover and reduces your profit. And it's definitely not so good if you start to outsource all the bits that you love doing and you're left with the admin, the marketing, and none of the things that you're really good at, or none of the reasons that you started the business in the first place. Do an outsource audit. Similar to above really, what do you do that generates income? What do you do that doesn't? And what do you outsource that generates income? And what do you outsource that doesn't generate income? Next, think about what you like doing and what you don't like doing. Are you actually outsourcing the right things? If you are, then happy days. Work on clarity, having the right people working with you, and remember that they are probably better at what they do than you are. So keep out of the minutiae. Your role here is strategy and direction. Finally, if you have a team, whether they're freelancers or employed, then in theory you're better able to do only the things that you can do and delegate the rest, right? If everything has to come back to you or through you, then actually it's still likely that you're the bottleneck. Worse than that, you run the risk of really de-skilling or disempowering the people that work around you. Here are a few tips for creating a business that flows, ideally without you as far as day-to-day operations are concerned. First of all, have systems. These don't have to be great cumbersome processes, but a kind of way of working or a culture guide. Include your brand values in here, the style of communication you want, dress code if that's appropriate, right through to how specific tasks are done. This way, people have the freedom to act. It enables you to delegate and then get out of the way. If you've hired right and you're clear about what needs doing, then why not let your team sort out the how and deliver the what? I'm frequently impressed by the ideas and innovation and skill that shows up in my team, just by me shutting up and getting out of the way. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying this is easy. I have to keep a really tight grip on my inner control freak, even though I know that those around me can do their jobs better than I could ever hope to. My job is vision, strategy, profile, business acquisition, client delivery, content creation, and ensuring people have the access to the right development and training. If I don't do the business development, build relationships, get known and trusted, which I largely do through speaking, networking and online interaction, then our business doesn't grow. This in itself will become a bottleneck, by the way. We're still a small business, but as we grow, I'll have to hand over some of the business development activities too. When I get overwhelmed, as has happened recently, I lose clarity. I don't show up as much for our community. I'm not as creative and I tend to get stuck on things that I should have delegated, mostly because I've become disorganised. This has a really negative impact on me and on everybody else in the team. In contrast, we've just started to scope out our marketing strategy for BraveFest in September. Now, this is a whole team activity. Everyone has a say in what we do and how we're going to deliver real value to our community, as well as selling tickets to those who want to join us in September. Some of the ideas, the things we can do for people and the ways that we can influence the small business world are as exciting as BraveFest itself. And we're each doing the bits that we're good at, and I feel really blessed to have such good people around me. If you have a team, know what everyone is good at and know what they're responsible for, and be very clear about what they can just do and what they need to get sign off for. This way, people can get on with what they're good at without you in the way. A couple of things make this work really well. One is regular check-ins, and it being okay for anyone, including you, to say, I'm stuck, I need help. This way your team blossoms and you have confidence that things are happening the way you want them to happen without you in the way. And most importantly, the bottleneck is removed and the team actually gets their work done. To sum up, whether you work alone most of the time or whether you have a team, if everywhere you look something needs doing, then run a quick check of how and where you're spending your time. Are you doing the things that generate revenue? Are you doing things that get in the way of generating revenue or profit? Are you doing what you're good at? Are you doing what only you can do? And finally, are you doing the things that you like doing? If you give away all the best bits in your business, or you build a business around the things that you don't actually enjoy doing, then it's always going to feel like hard work. Choose to do the things that move your business forward, that enable you to best serve your clients, and let you make the impact that you want to make in the world. I always keep this mantra close by, particularly when I'm busy. Just because you can doesn't mean that you should. I'd love to hear what you think about this and share some of your bottleneck experiences and how you've overcome them. Either comment on here or better still, join us in the Braver Business virtual co-work group.